All right. First thing is ask anything. You guys can write in podcast@printavo.com to be able to ask any sort of problem that you are currently having. This one comes from Tracy Stearns out of Running Threads.
Woo, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
This is Matt's account. They're at Arkansas. She wrote in a really good question, and Farrah, I feel like this is almost directed towards you. Sorry, Matt. She says, I'd be interested in hearing about different pricing structures for stores and fundraising stores, short-term stores, aka Greek. I've been doing pricing by total quantity sold, but really want to get a set amount made / order for the group. Like $5 a shirt that may go up to $8 if they sell more. Just how do I do pricing? How do I price? And it sounds like it's a really more of a getting started, an intro to pricing, less of how complex you've gotten with, your diverse clientele. That's a thick question.
It's got a lot of meat on the bones. So I've actually simplified our pricing quite a bit when it comes to online stores, and it all comes down to risk. When you build an online store, you assume all the risk. You are essentially setting up a retail store for your clientele. So bulk pricing does not exist, period. And essentially, when we build an online store, now we don't charge for online stores. We build them for free. We have no issues with that. But there is an upfront, basically, like I let them all know, hey, you need to sell 24 pieces for the store to go through. You can only have one design on 3 products. So you can take a design, put it on a long sleeve, a t-shirt, and a hoodie, and you have to sell at least 24 of those. And I'm going to make the prices. And essentially what I tell them is when you build an online store, you're going direct to consumer. So the parent that's checking out for their kid, they're looking at a shirt and saying, okay, it's $15, $16, $17. It doesn't matter all that much. And so because you're giving them a retail experience, you're charging retail pricing. On the flip side of that, there's also a ton of work on the back side of the store as far as collapsing it, bagging and tagging it, and the customer service involved if something happens. Because you are going direct to consumer, you are responsible for every shirt, making sure that it makes it to every single customer, and it's on you if you don't successfully do that. And so with that being said, that is why I dictate prices and why I charge quite a bit when I do them. Now, if a customer will say, well, I think we're going to order 100, I tell them do it the first time. And if you do that a couple times, we'll knock your pricing down. But we don't let them have bulk quantity pricing when it comes to online store. There's just too much risk involved. That's my answer.
Now, are you splitting that pricing at all? Are you giving them a portion of that?
So if they want to fundraise or fundraise, that's totally on them. So if I tell them, hey, the shirts are going to be $15, they can say put them at 20 and they can make $5 a shirt. That's their business, not mine. Only thing I take is a transaction fee, just because you don't want to lose money on credit card fees. But that's completely on them. Now, on stores that are really good, so clients that are running them once a month, sometimes I'll incentivize them and say, hey guys, if you're able to sell 400 pieces, I'll bump this up a couple bucks a shirt to make you guys more money, and you'll kind of backwards incentivize them. But I only have a few that I really do that with because they're trained on my system. So short and long of it, online stores are a profit center, but you have to treat them like that and sell them like a premium service. It is not a Dunkin' Donuts value meal thing you're selling. It is a premium experience.
Gosh, damn, we're never getting a Dunkin' Donuts sponsorship now.
Dang it. Krispy Kreme's so anyways, that's fine.
How do you handle the upcharges? Because I remember you always talked about we individually bag regardless of it being a pickup or delivery. Is it $1? Is it $2? Like, what are these add-ons?
They're not add-ons. They're just retail pricing. Like,
so it's included with everything.
It's included. We do not give the option. Bagging and tagging is you must do it. Because I'm not going to assume that the group organizer knows how to bag and tag. Okay? Shops across the country are messaging us saying, how do you bag and tag? Like, it's a very, you have to do it and be very careful about it. If I give it to a parent to do, they're going to call me back and say, we're short 2 smalls. Well, I'm going to burn 3 more screens to get them 2 more shirts, and that's going to take 2 hours, and that's what it would have taken to bag and tag the order. So we know that we're going to bag and tag it perfectly with our system, and I've got a YouTube video out there on how to bag and tag perfectly. And when we do that, we don't get any calls or issues, and we almost train our customers to know that's our style. So if you get an online store, it's going to be bagged and tagged, and that's the name of the game.
Okay, where can people start though with the price? So is it like a 12 shirt order with finishing and everything? Is that a good starting place, and then go up from there?
What you would sell 12 shirts at.
Okay.
And the other thing I say is, if a customer tells you how many they think are going to sell, divide that number in half.
Yeah, they have no idea. Everyone thinks they got the best idea, that they're the best salespeople, and then unfortunately, it's not always the case. The hard part too is if you're setting that standard of saying like, hey, you must sell 12, you must sell 24, and they don't hit that number, you're now having to go in and say, okay, refund, and you have to either charge them for the credit card fees that have happened, right? So now you're leaving a bad experience for that user, right? Your customer. So Steven has a lot of things that I've actually taken and kind of stolen those ideas from, of letting them know out front, okay, you must sell these minimums, and then checking in a couple days before the store ends with a reminder, you are under what you need, or hey, you're golden, keep doing what you're doing, no worries. But giving them enough time to go, okay, I'm 6 shirts short, let me go ahead and I'll just go buy those 6 shirts to make sure everything goes through, whatever the case might be. But making sure you have constant communication, which again, you're having to put a lot of work into this to be successful. If you're not charging for that time as well, now you're not making money doing other tasks you can be doing. So I think Steven's exactly right. You have to be charging at that real price to be delivering this whole experience.
The other thing that I'm doing is I'm co-marketing. So I am the marketing expert per se in the situation, and I'm asking them how they're delivering the message to their customers. If they're just going to post it on Facebook once, big red flag. I'm asking for an email list and saying, are you guys emailing this out? If you're going to be emailing it out, it's going to be over 10 days. You need to send one on the first day, middle day, and last day. And I'm using Printavo statuses to basically say your store is doing well or your store hasn't hit minimums. The other thing that we started doing is a store approval. So with unlimited automations and approvals, you can essentially build everything out on a Printavo quote, put in the customer notes, things about the store, create a message that says these are the 10 rules of the store, and make sure they hit approve. Once they hit approve, we build that store instantly. So a lot of customer education through the process. So that we avoid, those problems that you talked about, Matt.
There's a lot of setup. I mean, you're listing off just some of the things here, but do you charge for setup? I've heard some people do some sort of fee, or that's the part of the baked-in premium per item that you hope to make later.
We say like frictionless sales, right? How do we get a product to a store to a customer as quickly as possible, like cutting through butter? And if we can avoid as much friction, that's fine, as long as we do a good job educating our customer. So if a customer has failed on their first store, we're probably not going to build them another one without having a conversation. But, the other rule we say is if a store fails, we refund it instantly. We don't extend it. We don't allow them to do anything with it. It's canceled. And all of the customers will get a message saying, please talk to your group organizer if you'd like to try this order again. It's not our problem.
Got it.
So,
and while we're on this topic, late orders, and this comes up a lot too. People, the store closes. What if it's a, I don't know, a very loyal customer, someone that spent a lot of money?
I mean, we've had like park district kids where it's like the next day, and if we haven't hit press, if it's still before it's hit press, I'll pass and protect the store, turn it back on, and say, you got like 20 minutes. Get it in there. We'll get that order through. If I've already copied it over to an invoice and it's already hit press, it's too late. It's done. That's not on me. That's where, again, it's on the group organizer to make sure that they're getting everything they need. Yeah.
What we do is we say the store closes Sunday at midnight, but Milo will actually close them like Monday at 10 a.m. to let any trickle come through. And if someone will message us in that time, it's Mila's call. 95% of the time she says no, just because it damages the person that bought first. And that's what I tell the group is when I extend a store by 1 hour, it actually like disincentivizes buying early. And so you're rewarding the person that procrastinated and you're delaying, potentially delaying the order to the person that bought day one. So it's not fair. And we're pretty strong about it. And we don't really stray from it because it's wrong.
One thing that I've also done that I'd recommend for folks that are trying to get into more merch stores, and this merch store approval that Steven talked about, I also stole this concept from him. Very, very big help. But one thing I've done is I've actually created a template status. So I've got Printavo template, and so when I look for that status, I find a couple just like fake orders. I have myself set as the customer, but in the customer notes, I've got exactly what my expectations are for that merch store laid out with literal underscore areas where I have to fill in the blank data, then go ahead and make the quote and send it over, right? So every time I'm actually creating this merch quote, I don't have to go through and type out or go find and copy and paste that data I want to have in the customer notes section. It's already there. I just fill in the blanks and shoot it out. I've actually started doing that for other Printavo uses too, but that's a big help when it comes to quickly getting a merch approval out to a customer.
I love this topic. I could talk about merch all day.